everyone, my name is Christy. Welcome to my channel if you're new. And today I'm going to talk about the Once Upon a Faebruary Readathon that just took place in the month of February. This Readathon has literally turned February into one of my favorite months in the year, which is really saying something because usually I don't really like February because it's like cold and just icky, and in North Carolina, like usually it mostly just rains. It's just like really cold rain and it's just not a fun time of the year. But the last few years since I've been participating in this Readathon, I love February now. It has Valentine's Day and this year it had the Olympics. That being said, I actually didn't read as many books as I could have this year because I got so distracted by the Olympics. I'm just really into it. I just love all the events, especially the figure skating and everything. And it was just like a really good year for that. It was just really fun to watch. So anyway, I'll quit rambling and I will get into the books. Okay, so first I wanted to say that I am so proud of myself because all of the books that I read were actually on my TBR video I made. That is a true achievement for me because I'm such a mood reader. But I think this time I did it differently. I gave myself so many options to choose from that I was able to like mood read within the ones that I chose for the TBR. So that kind of helped. But anyway, I had a great reading month. I didn't have any books that I didn't like. And I don't know if I'm just getting better about choosing books that I think I'm gonna like kind of thing. But I really enjoyed all these books and I'm excited to recommend them to you. So the first one, I'm gonna recommend this one with a grain of salt actually. The first one is called You Are Fatally Invited and it is a thriller. So this book is not for everybody. This book was amazing. I truly thought this book was so amazingly written. It was by a debut author, which just takes it up to a whole nother level that this was her first book. Like, wow. But there's murder that happens in it. You know, there's definitely some things about it that I can see other people would not like. What I loved about it is just the plot twists that were happening. I did not know what was going on. The characters had amazing depth and they had all these secrets and things they were hiding, and we were trying to figure out like how things are connected and like really what's going on between them and like why people are dying. So actually first, let me tell you what this book is about before I keep going on and on about it. But it is about a group of authors that get invited to a, I don't know if it's an island. Yeah, I think it's an island. And it's like a writing retreat / murder mystery game. So they're there to like get ideas to write, but they're also playing like a real life murder mystery game. Well, what happens is one by one, they start dying. And the event planner is like, this is not supposed to happen. This was just supposed to be a game. Like, not all these people are supposed to die, kind of thing. This book does have a little bit of romance in it, which I really loved. And if you're reading it and you find yourself being like, oh, I don't know about this book, just get to the ending. Everything works out in the end, and it was a beautiful ending. I really enjoyed it. One more thing I want to say, it does have a little bit of language, but it's very minimal. In fact, some of the things they were going through, I was actually kind of surprised that they didn't say the F-bomb. I mean, like, obviously, like, that's not something I say or really want to read, but the things they were going through, like, I would have understood if they said that, honestly. Like, I would have been like, okay, yeah. But they didn't. None of that was in there. I even thought that they probably would have been cursing more considering what they were going through, but you know, it just wasn't in there, which was very refreshing. So I would recommend this to people that already read a lot of mysteries and already are into the thriller genre. Otherwise, some of the things that happen might just be a little bit too shocking. Anyway, amazing book, like knocked it out of the park. Okay, so after all this murder was going on, I really needed a princess book. So I chose The Backup Princess by Kate O'Keefe. And oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about what the prompts were for. The first one, You Are Fatally Invited, fulfilled the prompt a new to you author. It was by an author called Andy Pliego, something like that. So obviously it's her first book, so I never read her before. And The Backup Princess, I used this for the prompts, free space, and also has a subtitle because it's within a series. It's the first book in the series. But anyway, this book has a Princess Diaries feel, and the main difference is that she actually knows she's a princess growing up. Her mom actually abdicated from being crown princess and like went to marry her dad in the United States. So she knew about her royal heritage, and she was just like living her life. I think she was like in college or maybe fresh out of college when she got word that her uncle is actually going to abdicate, and if she did not become the crown princess, then this like really bad guy was going to take over and like destroy the country, that kind of thing. And I think it was called something with an M, or Maruvia, I don't know, something, I can't remember the name of the country. It was like some made up country in like Europe or something. But anyway, she goes over there and she's like, well, let me decide if I want to be the princess. And there is a prince from a neighboring country that they're kind of like best buds, because they're like both small countries, so their countries do a lot of things together. And he was going to meet the new supposed like maybe princess, and she had heard all these bad things about him in the tabloids. He was basically like the player type. But what she doesn't know is that it's all fake. He's never actually been in a real relationship. He hasn't even been on a real date in a full year. And he's like, I want to find the one. I'm looking for something real. And everyone keeps labeling me as like this player guy. And so she does not like him at first, but you know how these things go. So you'll just have to read it to find out. I would definitely recommend this for teenagers, like maybe like 16, 17 up. The spice level was like non-existent. It was just kissing, and it wasn't anything descriptive. It was very sweet. It was just about like how it made them feel. So it was just a great story for teens, for young adults, for adults. It was just so fun. It was definitely my kind of book. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about Edenbrook. This is gonna be one of my favorite books of the year. I just know it. Definitely my favorite book of the month. One of those books that made me fall in love with reading all over again, made me remember why I wanted to be an author, you know, that sort of thing. Just, it was beautiful. Like, it was just wonderfully executed. I loved everything about this book. I would recommend it for teenagers, young adults. I would just recommend it for, you know, everybody probably like 14, 15 and above. It's a Regency, it's a proper romance, so you know there's nothing like scandalous going on in it. It's got Pride and Prejudice vibes, and it's about this girl that is kind of unwanted in her life. Like her dad, her mother dies, and then her dad is like dealing with grief, and so he leaves, and she's just shipped off to her grandmother, I believe, and her grandmother doesn't even truly want her there. She wants to see her off married. And her sister, she's got a twin sister who's like beautiful and isn't gonna have any problem finding a guy, and is like already like having a great time in London. And then there's our main character who's just like feeling so unwanted by everybody. And anyway, there's this man that everybody wants, kind of thing. He's just like this handsome guy, he's rich. They strike up a relationship, and it's one of those books where she's just like, there's no way he's gonna want me, and he's got some secrets of his own. It's a historical fiction, but it's written at a modern pace, meaning that she does not give you 1 minute to get bored. like the whole way you're just like tracking with the characters and what's going on. And I read it in 2 days, unputdownable for me. I stayed up very, very late till like 1 in the morning reading it. And then first thing in the morning, I picked it back up and I was reading it again. So that tells you how good this book was. I can definitely see why everybody was talking about it. Beyond Ivy Walls, I used this one to fulfill the prompt meant to read last year. It also has an animal in it. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and this is one of the sweetest, most endearing beasts I've ever encountered, like the beast character, because this was a guy that he suffered from alopecia, I believe it was, a disease where like his hair falls out when he was a child, maybe like 9 or 10 years old. And his father, who's like very wealthy, was like, oh no, we're not having this, and like sent him off to like try all these like weird random cures. Well, apparently like one of the things they tried like ended up like scarring half his face, something like that. So he was just left a broken man, felt rejected by everyone, especially his father. He was a musician, so he was also like sent away to just practice his music and that sort of thing. And he lived in isolation for most of his life because of his disfigurement. So then we have this girl that works at a factory that he owns, and they end up meeting, and the story just goes from there. It's just so beautiful. And I mean, truly, like if you need a comfort read, like something very, very heartwarming, this is the book for you. It was just beautiful. Next, I read Spark of the Revolution. Has a Journey is the prompt that fulfilled this one, because in this book, the main character named Patience travels across the Atlantic from England to America in 1773. She goes to Boston. She is with her older brother, and they're coming because their father was already over there working as a merchant, and then their mother ended up dying in England. So they're like there to start a new life. And they're literally like walking right into the middle of like this like rat's nest of like the colonists and the soldiers, and just the conflict that's going on. And since their father is a merchant, he's selling the British tea, and he's just like right in the middle of it. So this book is awesome. This is all I'll leave you with. She ends up meeting a patriot who she starts to fall in love with. They start to fall in love, but her dad's a loyalist. There's our conflict right there. It was so good. I love this book so much, and it's the first one in a series. I cannot wait to read the next one. Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. I use this to fulfill the prompt Something Beautiful because of the diamond ring. And this one I would recommend to college, maybe like late teen, like 18 plus, college age and beyond. This was very sweet romance. It's a contemporary romance, a little bit of rom-com. I think there were some funny moments that made me laugh out loud in it. And but it's a marriage of convenience, so it's that trope. They do share a bed, but nothing bad happens, and it's just kissing. It wasn't anything descriptive that made me feel uncomfortable. It was just like describing how it made them feel kind of thing. But anyway, this book is about a girl that's a billionaire, and she's engaged, and that guy is awful, and so she ends up dumping him because she's like, I want a better life. And so her dad, for whatever reasons, like, you need a hobby, so he buys her a minor league baseball team. And I guess she ends up like really falling in love with this team and the whole idea of like owning a team, and she really, really wants to do it. She really wants to be the owner. But the town is like really rejecting her. They don't want anything to do with her, and so they're like trying to figure out how to get rid of her. And they come up with this like residency law where she's got to like live in a certain area like immediately, or she's got to sell. And then there's this guy that she meets, and they're friends, and he kind of like helps her around town, and he's one of the only people being nice to her. Well, he had an ex-fiance, I believe, and who dumped him, and so he's kind of like hurting over that. And he made this vow that the next woman I kiss, I'm gonna marry. And one time the ex like walks in and is like totally giving him a hard time. I mean, this girl was like awful, like totally horrible. And the main character, the one that owns the baseball team, is like, oh, whatever. And then she like pretends to be his girlfriend and like kisses him. And then he's like, oh no, what have you done? kind of thing. Well, they start talking about it, and she's like, well, I've got this problem with residency, you've got this vow that you've made, and so why don't we just do like a contractual marriage, and then like after like a year we'll just like break up. And so yeah, they get married, and things start moving along. They start to fall for each other. It's really, really sweet. I liked how much time the author took with developing the characters and really working on their backstories, and like they each had a lot of baggage and things they had to work through, and how the characters really helped each other through that. It was really beautiful. I really enjoyed this book. Transform Tale, I use this book for my favorite genre. I'm just gonna claim that fairy tale retelling is my favorite genre, because no matter how many other books I read in other genres, I feel like I always go back to fairy tale when I'm like, I just need like something refreshing. Anyway, this book is by Leila Humphreys, and it's in the Displaced Fairy Tale series, and it is a mashup of The Frog Prince and The Little Mermaid, where The Little Mermaid like literally reemerges in the Frog Prince's pond after he's been turned into a frog, and then they have to just like figure out how to break each other's curses from there. And I thought this book was really cute. I would recommend it to maybe a younger age group, like 15 to 18-year-olds. I think would really enjoy it. There was a lot of interesting characters, a lot of interesting like plot twists and turns and dynamics, and I just thought it was a lot of fun. Okay, I just want to show you that I started this book. I'm only like 40 pages in. I started it in the month of February. I did not finish it, but so far it's really good. I really, really like it, and I can't wait to see what happens with it. Anyway, I just want to let you guys know that I at least started it, and there were so many other books on my TBR I wanted to get to, so I'm just gonna keep on trucking with them and hopefully get to some more of those this month. But that's all I have. Thank you, Taylor, for putting on another great readathon again. Thank you to all the other co-hosts. I love you girls so much, and I will see you all in the next video.